What's good, everyone? My name's Nigel. I realized I started this page, Trinidad Empowerment Network, and not really introduced myself or told anyone who I am, for those of you who don't know. So I'm going to do a brief introduction as to why I started this page. If you could stay tuned for a little while and bear with me, I'll tell you exactly why I decided to start this page, and I cannot do it without your support. Now, I started this page a while ago, as some of you may know, who joined the page about a year ago, I believe. And the page started under a different name. It's now been changed to Trinidad Empowerment Network, which is 10, the acronym. And the reason I started this page is as a Trinidadian who moved to the UK at 15 years old. So I've been here for the last, for a long time, a very long time, without revealing my age. I've been here for a while, living in London for a while. And I've seen what's been happening in Trinidad for a while. And it's quite disheartening, especially now as the country is under a state of emergency, which is not good. Just recently, the UK government warned its citizens, including America, warned their citizens against traveling to Trinidad. I mean, Trinidad, as you know, and Tobago especially, is highly reliant on the tourism sector as well. So to warn citizens not to travel is not a good thing for the tourism sector. But I digress. Going back to why I started this page. I started this page because something needs to be done about what's currently happening in Trinidad. And I want to empower people to do better, right? So the page is essentially here. Like I said, before I move on, I sent out over 200 invites to the page. It's a private page. It's a private group on Facebook. So what you post on there stays within the group for now. So I've sent out over 200 invites. So far, I've had about 56 people responded, and the most haven't. So thank you for those of you who've responded and have liked the page. I really hope that this could be a good thing for all of us as we move forward, right? So again, thank you. The reason behind the page for me personally is that I wanted to create a page that empowers people. I've mentioned that already. So if you have a small business, if you're a startup business, if you are, an entrepreneur, if you have ideas that's going to make Trinidad better, that's going to help Trinidad in any way, shape, or form, or help you as an individual, please post it on this page, put it on this page, because we're all about empowering people, making us better. If you have any business ideas, please, especially put it on this page. If you have a small business, please advertise it on this page. If you feel the need to, of course. If you don't want to, of course, don't do it. But I believe if you have a small business and it's all about advertising, you put it on this page, and someone sees it, tells another one, you heard about this bit. So it's all about making your business great. Pushing advertising your business, or making your business better, bigger, etc. Empowering you. This is the idea behind this page. I also want to touch on a few other things about why we are in the current situation that we are in Trinidad. I previously mentioned, we're currently under a state of emergency. That's not a good thing. I've just explained one reason why it affects the tourism sector in Trinidad. And another thing it can potentially do is that if I am someone looking at the Caribbean or Trinidad as a place I would like to do business, I am massively put off by the idea that there's a state of emergency. The crime rate in Trinidad is so high, so that affects the country negatively. So none of this is good. None of this is good, right? And currently the state of emergency is only a temporary fix. It goes, I believe it's in place for 3 months. What happens once the state of emergency is lifted? Crime reverts back to what it was. So this is only a temporary fix, and it needs to be done. And the skeptics amongst us would probably say the Prime Minister has done this because he has to be seen to be doing something. He has a general election approaching in a couple of months, so he has to be seen to be doing something. Now, whether he's done it for that reason or not, The crime rate in Trinidad is astronomically high. So I believe just over 620 murders in 2024. Now, Trinidad has a population of just over 1.4, I believe 1.5 million people. That's almost 2 murders a day. If you compare that to London, where I reside, which has about 8 million people, you had 100, just over 100 murders last year. So you do the numbers, 620 or above in a population of 1.4, 1.5, and 100, the population of 8 million in London. Now, what's the link and why is there such a disparity in the numbers? Now, it doesn't matter what state of emergency, what police powers, what, Gary Griffin, none of these guys are going to change that situation. Believe me, I know. I've worked in that environment for a long time, so I understand it better than most. I currently work as without giving away what I actually do. I work for the royal family in the UK, so I'm a protection officer for the royal family in the UK currently, and that's what I currently do. So I have an understanding of that world. No amount of police power is going to change what's happening in Trinidad. No state of emergency is going to change. It may change it temporarily, but long term, it has to be. It the relation or the correlation between poverty and crime is huge. And that's not just unique to Trinidad, that's anywhere you go in the world, including the UK where I currently live, including America, the most remote places of Africa. If there's poverty, there is crime, right? So don't feel like Trinidad is particularly bad. No, no, you go to Brazil, the favelas in Brazil, the crime rate is astronomical. The only way to address the issue of crime is to address the issue of poverty. And yes, we could talk about government corruption, police corruption, and all that, but all that's comes a lot. All that goes hand in hand with the astronomical crime rate. I said government corruption, police corruption, mismanagement, and you have an education system that's not or pushing out kids with education who go to school, get an education, but there isn't a job market that aligns with with the education or the education they gained at school. So you have a Trinidad, unfortunately, is highly reliant on the gas and oil sector. We export gas and oil. That's our biggest, the biggest money maker Trinidad has. So it's not a very diverse economy in the first place, right? Meaning that most countries has a multiple ways of making money. I'd use America as an example. All of the biggest brands you could think of are in America. So they're not just solely reliant on oil, which they do. It has a massive, in terms of the money it brings into America, oil is huge, gas is huge, yes, but they have a diverse economy. So, you talk about the top brands, Nike, you talk about Adidas, you talk about Apple, you talk about Facebook, to Amazon. All of these companies are American-based companies that bring billions into the country. Most of the billionaires in this world live in America. Your Elon Musk and your Jeff Bezos and your Mark Zuckerberg. All of these guys live in America. So they have a diverse economy. They're not solely reliant on gas and oil like we are in Trinidad. So we have to diversify our economy, and that starts with entrepreneurship. That starts with small businesses. Every country, the UK, is massively reliant on small businesses to prop up its economy. Small businesses are at the core of each economy. Whether you have a small, I don't know, a party business that does kids parties, or a nursery, or a bouncy castle business, or whatever that's what drives the economy in any country. And without that, the economy is not great, for want of a better word. So that's why I'm so big on businesses, empowering people to start businesses. And I'll tell you what, I have a friend over here who's willing. He builds phone apps, and he's willing to give his advice to anyone that's interested, so long as you have a laptop or a computer of some sort. So long as you have a laptop or a computer, he's willing to give this advice to you for free to build mobile phone apps. So anyone that's watching this video now that's interested in building mobile phone apps, there's me offering you a business for free. Contact me on this page and we can have a conversation. I can link you up with him and we can have a conversation about making mobile phone apps. right? So I want to use this page as a place to empower people, to get us moving, to not be solely reliable on the government. As we've seen, the government has not delivered for us in any way, shape, or form. I'm not an advocate for any of these parties, whether it be UNC, PNM. They haven't done a great job whatsoever. The richer tends to be getting richer, and the poorer are getting poorer. And we see that day in, day out. We see that it only seems to be getting worse, and that's only exasperated by the crime rate. The crime rate. You look at the crime figures, and the numbers escalate. And people say, "Oh well, you need Gary Griffin, or you need this one, or you need that one, and you need to be tougher on crime." There's no correlation between tougher sentencing and the lessening of crime and lower crime. If people are desperate, they're going to commit crime. So the idea that tougher sentencing or more police powers is going to reduce crime is a fantasy. And that's facts. And that's not just unique to Trinidad, that's across the world. So the idea that people are plugging the idea, or bring back this one, or bring back Dole Chady, or Gary Griffin, or whoever you have in your head that's going to fix the problems in Trinidad, that's not that's never going to work. It's not proven to work anywhere in the world. What works is addressing the issue at the source, and the issue at the source in Trinidad is poverty. Until we address the issue of poverty, we start creating jobs, sustainable jobs. We have a more diverse economy, not solely reliable on oil and gas. We have a farming industry that's underdeveloped. We have a tourism industry that's underdeveloped. We have a manufacturing industry that's underdeveloped. It seems like most of the industries in Trinidad are underdeveloped. And on top of that, we have corruption, money coming into the country, or the oil and gas company. You have foreign owners of these companies that's taking or siphoning, extorting the money out of the country and not putting anything back into it. And the politicians themselves are being paid off by these billionaires, these millionaires who own the politicians who make the rules and regulations are owned by these millionaires and billionaires. And that exacerbates, or I can't even say the word, it annoys me so much. It makes the problem a lot worse. It makes the problem a lot worse when you have that level of corruption going on. So we need to address these problems. And to do so, we have to start somewhere, right? I'm hoping that this page we get a lot more followers to the point where we have a few thousand or hundreds of thousands of followers, that we could affect some change in terms of holding the people in charge to account. Right? The more people we have on this page, the more you tell a friend to come and join this page, the more we could create something to hold the people in charge to account. So I hope you guys resonate. I don't want to take too much more of your time. I hope this makes sense. I thank you for joining the page. I know I probably sound like the ravens of a madman, but it's not. I like you guys to follow me, to join the page, to try and empower someone to do better, to gain some knowledge of what's really going on in Trinidad. This is a place, if you have any ideas, this is the place to be if you want to drop those ideas. So yes, follow us, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. I'll be dropping more videos soon. Let's try and empower each other. If you have a business, like I said, put it on this page, advertise on this page. Let's try to build this page, gather a bigger following, and that way